So this time last week, I put out a video talking about the changes coming to Instagram, the crop changes, how it's going to go from 4:5 to 16:9. And I got a lot of negative comments towards Instagram on that video. There was a lot of angry comments, a lot of emotional comments. And that tells me one thing, and that is that everyone still cares about Instagram. You see, this is an app that has really made it difficult for photographers to reach people, even their own followers, but still, people really care about the platform to the point where they're angry and emotional about it within the comments on videos like this one. You see, surely if people were having a really bad time on the app, they would just go somewhere else. And that's the problem, is there isn't really an alternative. Well, there's loads of alternatives. I made a video about it a little while ago, just talking about all the different places that photographers can post online. But for an app that does what Instagram does, there is no alternative. There's a close, which is Twitter. Twitter is very close alternative, and I'll be honest, that's where I spend most of my time at the moment. I spend most of my time on Twitter, chatting with people, sharing photos, and that's kind of why I'm there, is because I don't always have to share photos. I can just talk about this channel, or I can talk about whatever is on my mind. So if you are on Twitter, come say hi on my Twitter account. It's it's Johnny Keeley. I'll link it in the thing. But yeah, Twitter is a very close place, but it's not Instagram. But you see, Twitter is close because it has this one thing that most of the other photography apps don't have, and that is the general public. You see, most photography apps fail because they are made for photographers to browse other photographers, and this is the kind of problem, really. This is why we love Instagram so much. If you imagine, a photo gallery, an exhibition, that someone says to you as a photographer, "Hey, do you want to come and show some of your work in our gallery?" You'd be really chuffed. And then you think, who am I going to invite? And then they tell you, no, it's only for other photographers. It's not for the general public. You'd probably be a little less excited. Still, it'd be great to show off your work to other photographers, but it's not quite the same as the general public flooding in to see your work like you'd see in a large museum or something. And that's what Instagram's got. It's mostly just people who are just sharing photos on the app, and then photographers make up a tiny little part of that. And that's why we love it so much, is because we get to share our photography with the general public. And this is why Twitter is great as well, because it has the general public. But what we have to remember is that it's those general public is what makes Instagram great. It's other photographers great, meeting people is great, but having everyone from all of the different parts of the world all on one app is what makes Instagram great. And there lies the problem. The problem with Instagram isn't the reels, it's not the crop, it's the reach. It means that we're not reaching the people that we want to reach anymore. Before, when it was all about photos, those photos were reaching those people. And I'm still hopeful that that reach will come back, or I will find a way that I enjoy that works with the way that Instagram want to distribute content. And I kind of feel like I need to let Instagram settle and implement all of these changes that they are making, because they are reacting in a very big way to the way that the world is changing, to the point where one of the biggest companies in the world changed its name. I mean, you think about changing your name on Instagram, how much that would make you go, I don't know. Imagine changing the whole company's name, the umbrella company at the very top. They are making some big changes. So I kind of feel like I should just let it settle. But I think the thing that all of us photographers and creatives have to appreciate is that this tiny little app that became popular and then got bought out by one of the biggest companies on the platform, it gave us all a place to get inspired, to meet each other and chat and just discover new things. And for me, it got me back into photography. I've been a photographer, or interested in photography, taking pictures, since film cameras were the only option, really, when I was about 17 or 18. I'm 37 now. And around 5 years ago, I hardly ever picked up my camera. I used my camera for my job, but I didn't pick up my camera for fun. And then I discovered some of these travel accounts, these accounts that were getting really big. I discovered these accounts and I was like, oh my God, this photography is phenomenal. I'd never seen anything like it. This is, the kind of photography where it's partly photo, but it's very much editing as well on top. And this massively inspired me to pick up my camera and just try and achieve something like that. It got me inspired. It got me going outside again. It got me taking photos for fun again. It reignited that kind of spark that I had for photography. It almost felt like, okay, then this is what I want to be taking photos of. And it kind of just set me on a new path. And honestly, after 20 years of taking photos, I still feel like I'm at the beginning of my journey as a photographer. I have no idea where things will go, but you just kind of have to go with it. And a big part of that came from chatting with people, discovering new photographers, meeting people from all around the world, seeing new styles of photography. And that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have started this new photography account on Instagram and just got inspired by the way that the app works. And if I think about what that did for me, I don't think there's an alternative out there. Instagram is still the best. It may not be the best for us photographers, but for connecting people, connecting communities, I still think it's the best. And really, the point that I'm trying to make is that I don't think Instagram owes me anything. I'm simply grateful for the connections that I've made through the app and as an extension of it, this YouTube channel. And if it goes away tomorrow, I would feel gutted about it. But honestly, I've gotten so much out of the experience and the time that I put into that app that I couldn't possibly feel anything but grateful to this, company for creating a place for me to share my photos and discover new people. So I think the takeaway from this video is, with all those negative comments towards Instagram and people feeling angry and feeling like something's been taken from them, I completely get it. But definitely try and see the positive side. It hasn't gone anywhere. They're making changes and we're just going to have to wait and see what it's all like. But it is still a great place for communities, and it is still a great place for photographers to share everything that they're doing. And while we're talking about that video that I put out last week, something very interesting happened. Somebody commented on it saying that it feels like I'm just making Instagram content at the moment and they miss my photography videos. And I reminded them that I'm still making those photography videos. And it seems, as expected, that YouTube doesn't really share those as much. And I just thought it didn't share them to the people who didn't really care about them. But I was very surprised to see that somebody who wanted to see the photography videos wasn't getting them on their homepage. So if that's you, if you're someone who wants to watch my photography videos but isn't seeing them that often, hit the notification button, or I'll keep pointing people to them. I made a video, put it out on Monday, of me photographing a treehouse I was staying in. So if you want to watch that video, I'll link that one up here somewhere and in the description. And I'll see you in the next one.